Okay, so now we're going to talk about attacking the sword side. Now you might think, isn't it much easier to attack the sword side because he doesn't have a shield there? Well, yes and no. This stance that he's in, he's actually pretty well protected on his sword side. If I just throw a straight attack in, I'm not going to hit him. His sword's there, his shield's there, there's really not much I can do. So what you have to do, just like on the shield side, is learn how to get around that. Now, a lot of people, when they start fighting, they try what's basically called the high cross, and it looks like this. I would say that that is not a good shot to depend on too much, and here's why. If I attack Yari like this, I'm just as exposed as he is, if not more so. My whole arm is out here, and my body is turned towards him. So instead, if you're going to attack high line on the sword side, you want to do what might be called a high slot attack. And the slot, as you might guess, is right in here. I'll just do it once first. Like that. And so what you're doing is, you are rotating your hand over like this as you move your weapon in to attack his basically armpit area. It's usually a good target, and it's a kill shot. So let's do it slowly. And even if he doesn't move his sword out of the way from me, you can usually get it, because the sword has a very narrow edge. So if you practice the shot enough, it's a nice shot of your armpit there. If you practice this shot enough, you can get inside a very small area, maybe only 3 inches wide. So from the front, it almost looks sort of like a very short corkscrew. And it has the same motion that we talked about earlier, the projecting forward rather than just hacking. So I'm projecting forward into my attack. I'm not just going like that. Projecting forward into the attack. And also notice that I end with my hand much higher than the tip of my sword. This means that my sword is keeping him from attacking me along the same line. This is very important. If I come in like, I don't know, like that, I'm exposed. If I'm like that, I'm not exposed. He has to attack the other side, and that's where my shield is. So, again, slow motion. It's almost as though you were swinging up into them. So this will require practice with a partner to get it right. But if you do, you'll find that it is a low-risk, high-percentage attack. That is, you can do it without worrying about exposing yourself too much, and you will land it, I think, at least as often as not. Now we're going to talk about attacking
it was probably one of those things where
midline on the sword side. This, as with the high line, is kind of tricky. Now there are some moves that are a little more advanced that I'm not going to include in here, but for right now, the move we should be talking about involves crossing over your sword and your shield. So I'm just going to do it once and then explain it. Here's how it goes. So you'll notice I cross and hit. Now, why do you cross? Well, I talked about earlier, making sure your shield is protecting you at all times, that you're moving with the shield. This way, my shield is protecting my arm and my body from his counterattack. As you might guess, this is easier to do with a punch shield because you have a smaller contact with the shield, therefore there's less to get in your way. But you can do it with a strap shield too, and many people do. So here's what it looks like with a strap shield. So notice he's getting either my elbow or my hip. Either of those is very good, because this is my sword arm. If he takes my sword arm out, I can't hit him anymore. If he gets me in the hip, I'm dead. So it's going to take a little more practice and a little more contortion to get it with a strap shield, but you can do it with either kind of shield. Now, It should come as no surprise that attacking the low line on the sword side is very hard, because, as we stressed earlier, your sword leg rather, is going to be the one that's back. So that means it's the farthest away from me. So I can try doing that, but my arm is closer to his sword than his leg is to my sword. So I do that, he stop cuts me every time. So there really is no basic move to attack the leg that I can recommend. There are a few advanced moves that build off the same kind of crossover we showed earlier. So one of them looks like this. The other one is a more extreme version of the crossover I showed you. But I would not recommend that you go for this leg when this leg is much more easily available. You are rotating your hand over like this as you move your weapon in to attack his basically armpit area. So I'm projecting forward into my attack. I'm not just going like that. I end with my hand much higher than the tip of my sword. So you'll notice I cross and hit. My shield is protecting my arm and my body from his counterattack. So here's what it looks like with a strap shield. There really is no basic move to attack the leg that I can recommend. There are a few advanced moves. So one of them looks like this. The other one is a more extreme version of the crossover I showed you. But I would not recommend that you go for this leg when this leg is much more easily available.